Hey, I see you, the ambitious, driven woman who seems like she's got it all figured out, but inside, stress, anxiety, and overthinking are taking over. All those big goals and that never ending to do list keep you busy, but your mind, it never stops long enough for you to actually enjoy your life. That's why I created Ambitious Overthinkers Anonymous, AOA. It's a community for high achieving women who are ready to ditch stress and self doubt for confidence and peace of mind. Inside AOA, you'll find live lessons and coaching to help you take action without second guessing. And guess what? They're all recorded, so you can watch them once, you can watch them at your own convenience, or you can watch them over and over again. You'll find an interactive chat and forum for real-time support from other women who get it and from me. And you'll have workshops, book studies, retreats, and all kinds of fun things coming in the future to help you connect and shift your mindset so you can stop that spiral of overthinking. Right now, you can lock in 3 months of AOA for just $150, but this special isn't going to last forever. So go to megandevito.com/work with me and click Ambitious Overthinkers Anonymous and join me today. I'll see you inside. Welcome to the More Than Anxiety podcast. I'm Megan Devito, and I help ambitious women break out of the anxiety cycle that keeps them frustrated and stuck. Get ready for a lighthearted approach that will change what you think, how you feel, and what you believe about yourself. This podcast is full of simple steps, a lot of truth talk, and inspiration to take action so you walk away feeling confident, calm, and ready to live. Let's get to it. Hey there. Welcome to episode 127 of the More Than Anxiety podcast. I'm so excited that you're here this week because I have some big news to tell you. Really big news. Stuff that, when you have an idea and all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, why did I not think about this before? That kind of news. So I want to start by talking a little bit about the power of community and support when you're struggling with anxiety. If you've not been here before, if you're like, oh, wait a second, I thought this was about anxiety, it 100% is. And we're going to talk about that today. We talk all the time. If you're in my chats on LinkedIn, if you listen to my podcast, if you've worked with me as a coach, you know that the foundation of everything I talk about is this is what anxiety does. This is how we work through it. These are the things that we're going to do once we learn how to manage those feelings and those thoughts that you have. The same holds true for this. But I started thinking about community. And I started thinking about how often I hear from people who say something like, I thought I was the only one. And to be sure, when I was growing up with an anxiety disorder, I thought I was the only person that had the scary thoughts that I had, who felt the way that I felt, who avoided the things that I avoided. And what I've found with working with women in coaching situations and just in conversations is that it was never just me. So I really want to talk to you about the power of community and support and tell you my big exciting thing that is coming up really soon in just a little bit. But let's start about how community breaks down the walls that stress and anxiety and overwhelm put up. When you are in a place where you're feeling very stressed out and very anxious and just overwhelmed by work and what your kids need and what your partner needs and the things that you have to do at home and what you really want to do for yourself, it's hard to be able to break through all of the thoughts that you have because it feels very important to do all of the other things, even when you don't want to. And when we notice that there are other people who are also isolated, who are just at work, who are like, I can only do this one thing, or who are avoiding going out because they feel irresponsible or they feel like they should be doing something else. If we notice that somebody else is overthinking the same things that we're overthinking, how do I be the best? What if I'm a bad mom? What if I'm failing at everything? What if someone comes into my house and notices that it's not perfect? All of those thoughts that I've had, I'm sure that you understand them, right? Like, we're not ever alone, even though it can make us feel very isolated and stuck. And I want to really address that, how when we come together, when we talk about the situations that we're all living in, the thoughts that seem completely bananas that we all have, it starts to become easier. And we start to find solutions and we find ways to support each other so that we're not feeling like we've got the weight of the world on our shoulders. Because this is what happens when we do it alone. This is something that I did on my own for over 30 years, you guys. If you haven't heard my backstory, I kind of developed an anxiety disorder when I was in the third grade. I was diagnosed with an anxiety disorder in high school, and it continued until I was 40. It was a really, really long bout of thinking I was the only person and that obviously I was completely defective. So I did the normal things that you might do too. I asked other people if are you sure you think I'm okay? You don't think I'm dying? You don't think I'm crazy? Like, does that ever happen to you? Or I would do it in a sneaky way, like, oh, isn't it crazy that I would think that I would get AIDS from shaking someone's hand? This was actually a real thought that I had in college, you guys. I was terrified of it. So to be fair, if you're listening to this now and you're like, why would someone be afraid of that? There was no cure for this. There was no like, it's gonna disappear from your body. There was barely medicine. If you got it, you were a goner. So this is the world I grew up in. That was one of my biggest fears. So I just didn't shake people's hands for a very long time. But you could do it in a sneaky way, right? Be like, oh gosh, kind of like wring your hands together and then have all those thoughts spiral, but never admit it because it sounds wackadoo, right? Like saying it now, I'm like, oh God, I can't believe I'm admitting this on a podcast. So we would do things like hide what we were thinking, hide the scary thoughts that we had. Don't tell anybody because what will they think of you? A lot of you do that. And I know it's true because people will say to me, I've never told anyone this before. And there's so much shame involved in it. So many feelings of, if I ever say this, what will people think of me? What's wrong with me that I would ever think these things about myself, about other people, about my situation? My life is actually good. I can't actually admit that these are the things I'm afraid of. So a lot of times we hide and we just keep struggling in the same thoughts because they feel so true. Another thing we do is we just work harder. We overwork. We feel overwhelmed by work. So we're trying to get everything done at work. We're trying to be the best at home. We're trying to do these things to make our kids successful. And we know that we need a break and we're so overwhelmed, but it feels so important and so overwhelming that we just push through. We go in, we have to control it. We have to do it on our own. We do not quit, but we also don't take care of ourselves. So we push harder and we just keep going solo. And then we wonder why we end up in a place where we're chronically sick, we're exhausted, our relationships are falling apart, we're about to be fired from our jobs or quit our jobs, our kids are getting in trouble, or we've lost connection with the people we love, we're not spending time with our friends, we're wondering if God is paying any attention because why would he let this happen? It spirals out of control, and it's because we're just not willing to slow down and address the real problem. Other things that you guys might do that I also know that I did was commiserating. Find one other person that you might know who's as miserable as you and just complain about it. And it feels really good. It totally does. I have a friend, a work friend from when I was a teacher, and she and I had, and still have, a running like back and forth message on Instagram and different places with just hilarious memes where we were like, hold the phone. Everything is falling apart. I'm about to lose my mind. Let me send you this. So, and we would get on there and we would complain because sometimes you have to vent, right? But sometimes we don't vent. Sometimes we commiserate. And there's a big difference between venting and trying to solve a problem. And I did a whole podcast episode on this a while back. I'll have to look it up and put it in the notes. And commiserating where you just are complaining to complain. And you're not really ever searching for an answer. You're just like, look, I just need a bitch for a while. Okay, that's fair. And it feels good. But if you're stuck in that, it's not helping you. It's actually making it worse because you are always focusing on what's not working. And that never solves the problem. In fact, anxiety is going to tell you to focus on what's not working so that you can continue to try and come up with solutions for something that might not actually be a problem anyway. Another thing that I have done, and I know that a ton of people I've worked with done, is we Google. I had health anxiety, you guys, and Google is the Grim Reaper. So Google will kill you faster than arsenic. Don't do it. We all know that's the answer. But sometimes we think if we could just get that one more piece of information, it would be enough. And the fact of the matter is, if that were true, all of y'all could listen to my podcast and never feel anxious again in your day in your life. And certainly you wouldn't even have to look at a podcast if you just read something on the internet. But information isn't changing you. It's important, it's valuable, it will help you have insight into what you need to do. But unless you are putting that information to work in a way that actually helps you, you can have all the information in the world and stay stuck and anxious and stressed and overwhelmed, and it won't do anything. And the other thing that we do to try to feel better is to procrastinate, because we think if we just give it a little more time, we'll figure it out. You know what? I'm positive that like I don't have time for this right now. I'm so overwhelmed that I do not have time to solve for my overwhelm. I'm so anxious that I do not have time to address this. I'm trying to hold it together. How do you expect me to fix my anxiety and stress when I'm so anxious and stressed? Those are the thoughts that we have. And we know hearing that we might be like, yeah, that sounds like me. And that also doesn't make any sense, because it doesn't, but it feels like it should help. And feeling like the same problems just keep coming up over and over and over, and maybe in a slightly different form. Maybe it used to be that you were afraid that your boss wanted to fire you, and then you realized that he actually gave you a promotion, so that wasn't it at all. It was actually that your coworkers wanted you to get fired, which may or may not also be true. But those thoughts about what you think you're doing wrong, how you think you upset people, what you think might be wrong with you, what you think could happen with your kids, what you think might happen with your relationship, what you're afraid to let go of, what you're afraid to stop trying to control. All of those things where we keep spinning in that same cycle, just thinking like something's going to be different this time. 30 years of an anxiety disorder, and I'm here to tell you that that's not it. That's not it. That same problem cycling back around is just keeping you stuck. All common. I am not pointing fingers at you. I'm just telling you that these are really what I see happening with the people that I work with, and I'm guessing they probably happen with you. Totally common, not a sustainable or productive way to feel better. So let's talk about why community is so important and why we avoid it, okay? So here's why community matters. When you are connecting with like-minded people who truly understand what you're going through, by like-minded, I am talking to people who are looking for a way to feel better. If you are looking for someone to commiserate with, you will find people to do that. And if you are looking for a way to find a way out, to be successful, to have stronger relationships, to know exactly what you need to feel calm, to feel confident, to feel successful, to go out and have a good time, you will find those people too. And it really depends on where you direct your brain. If your brain is always looking for somebody else to say, oh my God, you're right, everything is a dumpster fire, absolutely you'll find those people. And sometimes we are those people. If that's what you're looking for, you will find it. You won't find it with me, because I'm going to offer you a solution here in just a minute. But you'll find it because your brain's designed to look for what you show it to look for. You've got this whole system in your brain called the reticular activation system that says, oh, you want to see a purple Jeep? Scan, scan, scan. Suddenly, everybody's got purple Jeeps. You had no idea. You want to find somebody that wants to show you everything that's going wrong in politics or with climate or with your kids or with the school systems or with corporations or anything else, you'll always find it. Everybody's talking about it, but you don't have to stick with that. You can choose something else. Community also matters because we have shared experiences that we think are just ours that seem really scary and weird. We get to normalize the struggles that we have and start building resilience instead of getting sucked down by that struggle. We start noticing that like, oh, well, what worked for you? I'm going to try that. You know what? That didn't work exactly for me, but I did figure something out. And every time we notice that it didn't fall apart, I actually learned something. It's 1% better than it was yesterday. You grow your resilience and you grow your confidence to try the next thing that feels a little scary right now. And maybe a lot scary right now. But you're like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And you got the community to back you. You can do this. I did it. If I did it, you can do it. And they start to cheer for you. And suddenly you've got like this whole cheerleading squad that you didn't even know about. But if you don't tell them something's wrong, if you don't find those people that are going to support you, you're on your own. You don't want to be on your own with this. You already feel alone, even though you're not. You feel alone. But community also gives you accountability so that if you chickened out, and we're all going to chicken out sometime, right? Let's say that you have to go out and you have to give a presentation, or you want to give a presentation to somebody at work about asking for a promotion. And you're like, I don't think I can do this. They're going to think I'm absolutely out of my mind. Who am I to ask for that promotion? Who do I think? They're going to make fun of me. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they like demote me. There's no way I can do this. But suddenly you've got a group of people behind you that say, you can do this. It's okay to be scared. It's okay. This is what we're going to do to get calm. These are the thoughts we want to focus on. We're going to cheer for you. As soon as you do this, gosh, as soon as you're done, post. We want to know. Let us know. And then you have somebody to celebrate. And if you don't do it, we're going to say, okay, what happened? What were you thinking about? Okay, so you had to back out. You had to cancel this time. Let's try again. Let's find something different. Let's make it work. We're going to cheer for you. Do it afraid. You can do it. You have the accountability and the support that you need to keep moving forward when things get difficult, because life comes in thirds. A third of it's going to be amazing. Like, oh my gosh, this is the best day ever. A third of it's going to be neutral, where you're like, it was fine. It was good, bad, whatever. It was normal. My kids would be like, it was normal. I ask them this every day after school. Hey, guys, how was school? Normal. Normal. What does that mean? Like, you've never had a good or a bad day at school ever, but normal. And a third of your life is going to suck. I mean, honestly, bad things are going to happen to you, and they're going to happen to me. And you are resilient, and you are able to handle those bad things. And you're much more able to handle them when you have support and accountability and people backing you up, people who know that you're good. And when you grow your resilience, you're going to have that from other people and from yourself. You're going to trust yourself. You're going to be more confident. You're going to be like, oh, yeah, that was really hard. I got fired today. All right, I'm going to sit in this for a minute. I'm going to let myself feel it. And then I'm going to regroup, and I'm going to figure out, what am I going to do with it? I'm not saying you're going to get fired. I'm saying that bad things happen sometimes, and you are capable and resilient and strong enough to do it, especially when you have a community that's helping you. Okay, so let's talk about what this looks like. What the heck is the thing going? I'm sure you figured out, I got a thing going on, right? I've created a community, and I want you to be a part of it. The name of the community is Ambitious Overthinkers Anonymous, AOA. I like it. I mean, it sums it up. It's quick and easy. We'll call it AOA, but it's Ambitious Overthinkers Anonymous. This is what you're going to get when you join me in this group. You're going to get me in my teacher hat. I was a teacher for 20 years before I was a coach. And you're going to get me with my coaching hat. You get the best of my teaching and the best of my coaching. All of it's going to be recorded. And that means if you have a dentist appointment during something, or if you're like, oh my gosh, we got called into this meeting, my kid is throwing up, whatever it is, if you got to miss, no problem. It's going to be recorded. You can watch it later on that day, later on the weekend, or you can go back and watch it 10 more times if you want. Every week, you're going to get a live lesson on Monday where I'm going to introduce a topic. And we're going to start with what the heck is happening inside of my body when I feel anxious and stressed. And we're going to talk about, hey, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know to understand the topic. Then we're going to regroup on Wednesday, and we're going to do a Q&A and kind of some group coaching on that topic. What do you think? What did you learn? What are you unclear on? What are you noticing? What's coming up for you? What questions do you have? And then I'm going to spotlight some people here and there where I say, okay, this week on this Wednesday, Becky is coming in and she asked to be coached on this problem, and I'm going to do live coaching in the group. Now, how does this benefit you if you're in a group? Like, what if Becky's problem isn't my problem? Here's the thing about coaching. We all have very similar issues, even if our thoughts aren't the same. So when you hear this other person get coached, you start applying those questions to your own situation. And suddenly you're solving problems in a different way without waiting for somebody to tell you what to do, because you start to look at your own thoughts, your own behaviors, and to choose to change them on your own. This is group coaching. So every once in a while, we're going to pull somebody for some spotlight coaching, and you get coached in here. So we've got teaching, we've got coaching, and we got fun, because it's really, really hard to be anxious when you're having fun. The thing about anxiety is that when you're thinking about it being scary, all those feelings in your body are terrifying. But when you think about anxiety as, I'm so excited, it's actually fun. It's very, very hard to be anxious if you're playing hopscotch, or if you're out kicking a soccer ball around, or blowing bubbles, or trying to do cartwheels, or painting, or doing anything else that sounds fun to you. You get to decide what it is. But we're going to have fun totally intertwined in this because it has to. So that's going to happen. You're also going to have an interactive chat and forum. And that's going to give you the opportunity to go in and say, hey, you guys, I've got this thing happening right now. I need some backup. And then people can come in and comment and say, hey, what are you already doing? I can pop in and say, all right, let's talk about what you're thinking about. What do you want to think instead? What do you want to do? What do you need to hear to know that you can do this? You're going to have people saying, I know you can do it. Here's a hilarious meme. Go laugh for a minute. Here's what happened to me today. Hey, I've been through this before. This is what worked for me. But you're going to have that interactive forum and chat for 24/7 support. You're also going to be able to ask questions and get the encouragement that you need so that you can say, oh my gosh, I'm going into this meeting. I think I'm going to throw up. I have hives all over my neck. People are going to think I'm crazy. Hold on. Everything's fine. So we got fun activities. We've got live lessons. We've got group coaching. And down the road, we're going to do things like book studies, maybe a retreat, maybe some other really fun stuff that I haven't even thought of yet. And I am taking suggestions. This is a community. We get to ask for what we need. I'm going to give you proven strategies and practical tools and expert coaching in this group with some women who are just like you. This is designed for busy women who are high achieving, who are trying to balance everything, who are 18 and over. Now, if you are listening to this podcast episode and you are a high schooler and you're like, but I'm 17, hang tight, you'll be 18 soon. I want to make this a place that is private and focused on adults right now. So I know I have some teenagers that listen to my podcast, and I love you and you deserve all the support in the world. And I'm not saying that in the future there will not be a group for teenagers, but right now this group is specifically for high achieving adult women. If you do not fall into the high achieving adult woman category, I'm sorry, but you can always talk to me about one-on-one coaching because that's something that I do regularly anyway, that I've been doing for quite some time. This is just a new thing that I've got going. So I want you to think about this for a minute. I want you to think about where you are right now. And maybe it's like, I don't want to think about where I am right now. There's too much going on in my life and I can't handle it. It sucks. Or I don't know if this is for me. I just am like, everything feels really heavy and I'm so tired. I don't know if I can fit anything else in. That's okay. That's okay. If that's where you are, that's where you are. But I want you to think about what it would be like if you didn't feel that way. What would it be? What would it feel like? What would happen in your life if you felt confident? Not to tell people that, yeah, I'm confident, but to really feel it. Like, oh, no, I'm actually sure I can do that. What would it be like if you had extra time on your hands? Like, I didn't know that I would have a day where I could do whatever I wanted. What would you do with that day? What if you actually had the energy to do something besides I would lay on the couch and sleep? Because it's totally fine to take naps. But what if you've been wanting to go do something and you haven't had time and suddenly you did? What if you were focused at work instead of always freaking out about what you were afraid was going to happen and how you were going to get dinner ready and how you were going to do the other things? What would that be like to actually be able to focus on what you're supposed to be focused on? Or to not feel like you're going to pit out your shirt every time you talk to your boss, where you're like, no, I'm actually know how to calm myself down and I'm not thinking those things anymore. I want you to think about that because all of this is possible. I want you to think about what it would be like to decide. Yeah, like just decide, make a decision. For me, I will be the first to admit, do not give me a menu with multiple pages because I'm going to sit there and I will wait until I am absolutely forced to decide what I want for dinner. My sister-in-law once told me, always go with your first guess and put the menu down in 30 seconds. Decide. What would it be like to be able to decide and stop overthinking? What would it be like to set healthy boundaries with your coworkers, with your kids, with your neighbors, with your siblings, with yourself? What would it be like to have those boundaries so that you could say, no, I know what I meant. I'm sorry, I'm not your person today. Nope, I'm not going to be able to do that. Yeah, I would love to do that. I'm going to have to say no to this other thing. What would that be like? What would it be like if you were thriving personally? Like I'm talking actual self-care. I'm talking about the kind of self-care where you're investing in yourself, where you're really making sure that you do eat healthy, where you do move your body, where you do get enough sleep, where you do take care of your mental health, where you do take days to just go outside and take naps. What would that be like? And yes, still go do the other fluffy stuff, right? Like still get a massage. It's good for you. Still go out and like have a glass of wine with your friends. Yeah, do those things too. But actual self-care isn't an event. It's a lifestyle. What would that be like? And what would it be like to thrive in your job? So you had more time for what was important to you. Like be successful at work, be successful at home, be successful with yourself, and not be overwhelmed because it's 100% possible. And I say that to you because I've done it. And I've coached people to help them do it. That's what this group is about. So I want to talk about some objections that might be coming up for you right now, because I know that when I get ready to join something, I got a lot of thoughts about what this is going to be. I'm very skeptical. I'm very much a last person in. Like, I'm never the first person to a trend or to join something. Ever. That's just not me. I don't fall into that category. So I get you. I want to make sure that I talk about this with you, because these are the questions I would have. I would be like, oh, okay, Megan, that sounds nice. Moving on. Hold up. I just want to talk about this. One of the things you might be saying is, yeah, I've tried groups before. And you know what? I don't think this is a good thing. I think groups are stupid. I get you. I've been in some stupid groups. Honestly, I've been in some stupid groups. And I've joined groups out of guilt. I've joined groups out of desperation. I've joined groups that I thought were going to be amazing that weren't. I get it. That's a question, right? But this group's different. One, because it's going to be focused on where you're headed, and we're not going to rehash all of the problems from the past. We're going to deal with them, but we're going to move forward. This group includes coaching and teaching and structure and actual solutions, but it also includes fun. And if you don't include fun, why would somebody want to join a group? You don't want to join a group that's all information and like bullet points that doesn't give you something that makes you feel good back. I want you to feel successful, and I want it to be a place where you're like, I know that when I go here, I feel good when I leave. Not just I got information. Information is great, but information does not change the way you behave. Knowing more doesn't change what you do or what you think. It has to take insight and decisions and support and accountability and something to make it less scary, and fun makes it less scary. That's a huge difference. Another thought you might have is, I don't have time for this. I already said I was overwhelmed. I brought this up a minute ago. I don't have time. This is super flexible, y'all. I'm recording everything so that if you're going on vacation and you don't want to be like, I don't want to pay for this and then leave for a week, it's okay. It's all there when you get back. If you can't make the time during the actual time, I get you. We're all busy. I want it to be there for you. It's going to be there in the group so that you can go back and you can go into the forums and say, hey, I just watched the video. Can somebody explain what she meant? And you can come the following day and say, hey, can you go back over this and tell me what this was? I missed it. You also have the option of messaging me in the group and saying, in the next video, could you please address this? Because I'm still going to be on vacation. I'm going to watch the video, but I need to ask this question. Absolutely. It's flexible and the recordings are available anytime. Is this actually worth it? I don't know. You tell me what the cost is of staying stressed and overwhelmed. Because for me, time is the biggest expense. Because if you're like I was, you could spend 30 years swimming in the same thoughts and the same habits, and I do not want that for you. So I'm going to encourage you to sign up now. Because right now, I have a founding member price. It's $150 for 3 months. That's $50 a month. You pay in full, you're in for 3 months for $150. You get to stay the entire 3 months to learn from me, to get coached, to have fun, to create community, to find the questions and the new routines that you need to get out of this place that you are right now that you don't like, to find the connections that are going to help you feel confident and calm and secure and ready to go after for what you want. You can stay as long as you want, and you can leave anytime after that 3 months. You're just like, you know what? Thank you. See ya. Or you can say, I'm never leaving. I will stay here. Amazing. You're welcome to do that as well. You're also welcome to invite your friends, because the more the merrier. We're creating a community here. This is a limited time offer though. I can't tell you right now when the price is going to go up. I can only tell you that it will. And I can tell you that it won't be next year. It'll probably be before that, way before that. But for right now, I am encouraging you to jump in and get started, because why wait? Why wait longer to feel better when you can find the community that you need for support, so that you know that you're not the only one that's in this rotten place, so that you can stop commiserating and start actually making progress to what you want. To get signed up, you can go to my website. It's megandevito.com, and you can join the group there. It's open. You don't have to join by a certain day. You can join after we've started and go back and watch the videos, or you can join right now. And if you're not listening to this podcast episode right when it airs and you're catching it a year down the road, it's still there. You can join now. All right. It's going to be out there. It's going to be amazing. And you don't want to miss it. You do not have to do this alone. You do not have to do this alone. you can join a community that's going to be there to support you and empower you to get you where you want to go. So I am so excited to be able to bring this out into the world, to share it with you on this podcast today, and to see you inside Ambitious Overthinkers Anonymous, AOA, starting February 10th, 2025. Thanks for being with me today, you guys. I hope this was helpful, and I'm so excited to be able to see you in the group. Take care. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the More Than Anxiety podcast. Before you go, be sure to subscribe and leave a review so others can easily find this resource as well. And of course, if you're ready to feel calm, to stop overthinking, and have a lot more fun, you can go to the show notes, click the link, and talk to me about coaching. I'll talk to you soon.